Well, it's the 7th of November 2011 and we're here in the beautiful setting of Grenagh in County Cork, and this is a state-of-the-art structure here. With me is Tig O'Keefe. Tig, this is an amazing concept here out here in Grenagh. We are actually looking at a very special structure here, Tig.
We're looking at a solar panel especially for dairy farmers, which is heated from the sun.
Directly over here and facing southwards.
Facing south, facing the sun.
Absolutely. Now, these structures here, Tig, these would be used in farms because it's beginning to be noticed that what a great advantage they are.
This will cut your costs at heating hot water for your dairy, for washing your milking machines and washing up around the dairies. All the heat in the tank overhead here comes from the sun.
My goodness. So there we have the panel itself. The panel itself is facing southward so that it gets the best amount of sun. Then right over here is a very, very special tank. Now inside in that tank, how much does that hold, Tig?
300 litres of water.
That's a lot of water. And where does the water fill from there? How does it get filled?
The water comes up through here from his pressure, from his water pump in the yard,
yes,
into the little tank on the side here.
Excellent.
And into the unit, and it goes back from the unit down into the milking parlour.
Right. Now, so there it is. We're just watching there, and the water is becoming hot pretty fast there, and we're later going to see where the actual water and how warm it is. And of course, what is this water used for, Tig?
It's used for the washing of his milking parlour and his milking machine.
Tremendous altogether. And I mean, this does truly cut major costs.
This is a major cost cutting in any dairy farm. When you can heat your water from the sun, it really has to cut your expenses in the dairying of washing up after the milking.
And Tig, there's great interest in this structure.
Yes, a lot of farmers now are starting to put up these structures on the sheds alongside their milking parlours, and hopefully a lot more will.
Yes, and I suppose like people like Andrew here, whose farm we are now on, he has seen its advantage, so he speaks to others in and saying how much it's actually doing on his farm, and it will influence more.
Yeah.
Tremendous altogether. Well, my goodness, this is an amazing structure, and as you can see, how long does it take to put the unit in place?
That unit comes inside in a box, and it can be fitted and mounted up there within 3 or 4 hours.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
My good. And from an economic point of view, buying one of these saves hugely in the amount of saving of electricity.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Tremendous altogether. And of course, here we are, and right on top of the building itself. We're on top, in fact, of the structure.
The cubicle house of the cattle is underneath us here.
Absolutely, very good. Well, I must say it is. And so what we're now looking at here, the structure we're looking at here, would you sometimes see maybe more than one of these on a farm?
Well, if you had a bigger farm, if you had more cattle, more cows, you could put 2 units of those together. What you have got there is 36 tubes and a 300 litre tank.
My goodness. But that in itself looks to be really adequate there. But as you can see, even in a bigger scenario, you could even expand it further.
That is true, yeah.
My goodness. So you feel, Tig, this is the way forward for the future energy situations?
Well, I think for dairy farmers, every way you can cut costs is money in your pocket. So this is one way of cutting costs, because you are milking cows during the months of April, May, June, July, August and September, which are the best months of the year for solar to be heating water for you.
Tremendous altogether. Well, you know, it really is hugely impressive seeing this on the roof here, and I must say we are getting some scenery up here in Grenagh on this beautiful morning here, the 7th of November 2011. 2011. We are now going to go down and we're going to have a look and see how the hot water has actually really become a reality right down as we move down from the roof itself. Honoured and thrilled to be joined by Ned Cronin. And Ned, my goodness, when we see this most amazing state-of-the-art, crystal clean milking parlour here, perhaps you'll explain what it has meant to have this new solar panel on the roof.
Well, it makes an awful difference. The water comes from the solar panel in to be topped up by the heater to wash the bulk tank and to wash the parlour itself, and there's a separate tap coming directly from the solar panel down to the sink to wash your hands or whatever use you want to make of it. And this morning now we had frost, but the water is still hot.
My goodness.
The bulk tank has been washed this morning.
My goodness. And we even still notice here, Ned, and you explained here that the water was still, even though you've used a lot of it, the water is still hot.
That's right. The water is still hot. The water is still hot enough.
My God, look at that.
More than hot enough to wash your hands.
Incredible. And before you put a solar panel in place, Ned, what would the situation have been before that?
Well, the water was coming directly from the pump into the water heater, and it cost a lot more to heat the water when all the water heater is doing up now is topping up the water after coming from the solar panel.
Fantastic. So, in other words, you're using the energy of the sun in a very special manner.
That's right.
Tremendous altogether. And you'd feel that what's being done here with the solar panel is certainly cost effective.
Well, it's very cost effective, and the only expense is your first day expense. The water comes out of it down into the sink and down into the heater to be topped up by the water heater. And I think they're doing a great job.
Tremendous halt here. Well, may I compliment your good selves here on your farm here. You have an absolutely beautiful farm, and it's so well managed, hugely impressive, and I'm sure an example to not only all your neighbours but the nation as a whole. Great. Well, Ned, thank you very much for joining us here.
You're very welcome.
I think, Tig, that Ned is just reflecting on what it has meant on this beautiful farm here, but what it would mean to an awful lot more farmers.
Oh yes, there's nothing better than the person that is using it every day to explain how these work and what benefit they can get out of it. And I especially want to thank Ned and Andrew for letting us, for first of all buying it, and secondly for letting us video it in his farm. Thanks very much.
My goodness. And all I can say is that that's one of the nicest and cleanest milking parlours I've ever seen, and it's an example to the nation itself. Thanks very much, Tig, and thanks very much, Ned.
You're very welcome.
That's great. Now, Tig, we have another very interesting structure here.
Yeah, we have a stainless steel tank which collects the water off the sheds, runs down into a pump down here in the corner inside this little box here, kept away from the frost, and pumps the water back into the toilets, which is used for all the toilets of the house.
Tremendous altogether, my goodness. So this structure here, particularly you feel that the structure could well be used in towns?
In towns where you can have sheds that off your house, put your water, pump back in your water into your toilets. Toilets are the biggest users of water, so when the water meters will start coming in next year, you will start saving money in using the rainwater from the sky to flush out your toilets.
So it's another system of recycling in a very
rainwater.
Positive way, in a cost-effective way.
Yes.
Excellent altogether. So there it is now. So the rainwater comes from the shed here, right down by the pipes, right into the tank here, and right over here, and from there it goes directly into the house itself.
Yes, into the house from there.
My goodness, yeah, fantastic. And the creation itself, is it? Would there be in common use right around the country?
They're starting to get popular now into places where there's a lot of water being used for toilets. You could also put an attachment onto it that you can wash your car on a Saturday morning off the rainwater.
Oh, tremendous altogether. So really very cost effective altogether. What is the structure called, Tig?
Rainwater harvesting.
My goodness, Ray. And it really does harvest in a wonderful manner. Again, another amazing structure. So not only solar paneling, using the sun, we're now using the rainwater also.
Yeah.
Right. Thanks very much, Tig. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
for this beautiful setting over here in beautiful Doo-Inch in Banteer.